after I realized, being the perfect pastor was somebody's dream or somebody's version of hell, to be honest with you, because there are no perfect pastors. And so then I started letting people know I'm not perfect. So don't hold me to any expectations of perfection. And my soul was freed. Because then I could just do me. And I could make mistakes and it was all right. Because I had already broken through everybody's illusion that I was going to be the perfect pastor. And I had broken through my own illusion of being the perfect pastor. Helping people to break through, to recognize, well, you know what? I'm perfect. I may not be perfect, but I am unique. Amen. And so I'm going to celebrate my uniqueness. In other words, there's only one me. There will only be one me. There's never been another me. And while diamonds are rare, I am rare in my uniqueness. And so because of that, I have greater inherent value than anything men can make, or anything men can give me. Because God has made me to be this unique creature that will only exist once for a limited time only. And because of that, I'm good. You should be good when you look in the mirror because you can say the same thing about yourself. So, I can say, I have faults. Got a bunch of them. Don't mind sharing them if you got time to listen. And once you do that, then people, no, we don't want to hear all that. And then they are less concerned about what your faults are. And you don't have to worry about them. Don't buy into this myth that you're going to be the angel of light. Because if you read the Bible, you know how the angel of light kind of played out. That didn't work out well. Because the devil appeared as what? The angel of light. And that's typically pride will come in and cause us to fall. So learning to accept yourself as you are and celebrate that is probably the key issue here. All right, I'm going to stop. I have a PowerPoint. If anybody wants the PowerPoint, that goes on and on. You just let me know and you can have it. And it goes into some more stuff. But I want to have about a few minutes left. What kind of questions do you have that I can respond to before I leave today? Sure. Questions or comments?
Maybe this will be addressed later in the program, but this with the whole thing with the cannabis oil from whatever source, it's sold over the counter. And as I say, tell patients about vitamins or whatever you buy that's sold over the counter, it could be sawdust, it could be snake scales. It's whatever you want to believe it is. And it's the same, like you say, it's the same, it's like snake oil. And who knows what it's made from, who knows it's not, fentanyl. I mean, you don't know until you take it and put it in your body and see what happens. Nobody tests it, nobody sells it. It's all fabrication.
Wholeheartedly, I agree. It is dangerous. You don't know what you're buying when you buy one of these bottles that have not been tested, gone through FDA approval or anything. And it's one of the same issues with marijuana today, because so much of the marijuana today is some of it's synthetic, but some of it is now, a lot of the marijuana now is not like some of people may have smoked in the 60s and 70s. I'm not going to ask anybody to raise their hand on that one, but because I know no one here in hell. But it's one of those situations where so much of that is now changed at a DNA level, or not DNA, but on a genetic level, that it is designer cannabis. And that's why when people talk about legalizing, my question as an addiction counselor is, at what THC level? THC level. Exactly, and then that stops the conversation because most people don't know what I'm talking about when I say that, when they talk about legalizing it. But what does that do to our culture? Once again, this whole dependence on, I need something to fix me or to sustain me because I don't have anything else. So please give me a chemical. All right, other questions or comments? Sure, you, then you. Go ahead. Because my thing's going to beep in one moment. They've already told me when it beeps. Preacher or not, you got to come down. So.
Yes, our colleague mentioned the secretiveness and its destructiveness in a family. There's also the issue of just social isolation and denial. So when we're in denial, if we have people around us, we don't get into those thought patterns where we say, oh, I'm not addicted. I smoke pot every day, but I'm not addicted. Or I watch internet porn every day, but I'm not addicted. And so, but if you have family that are interacting with you and you're accountable to, that doesn't happen. So that when we talk about young people not getting addicted or coming out of addiction readily, it's the family that's key, as far as parents not allowing their kids to be on the computer all day or on their phone all day, where they can encounter all that bad stuff.
None of us are an island in our everyday life or in our faith life. Just keep this in mind. We are a body. We make up different parts, but we're still one body. We need each other in every aspect of life. And the family is really key, because they can help you identify you have a problem. They can help sustain you. And I've got some pointers on here on this PowerPoint that talk about that. But as I close this out, and I'll be around so you can ask me questions a little bit later in the day, but just keep in mind, we're never independent. We're always interdependent. We're always linked. And as Christians, we're linked not only to the good in our society, but to the not so good. And never be afraid to go there, because as I mentioned to someone earlier, what about if Jesus had a conversation in heaven and somebody had said, Jesus, you can't go down there. Because if you go down there, those people will kill you. And if he had said, well, no, I guess I can't go, where would we be? And think about that the next time God tells you to go to this neighborhood or to do a service in this community, and you start thinking, or someone starts telling you about all of the dangers of working with that population. Maybe somebody has HIV. Maybe someone has AIDS. Maybe it's a rough neighborhood and people are shooting and doing all this and all that. Maybe it's a drug-infested neighborhood, and somebody's saying, well, don't go, but something on the inside of you is saying, go do a work that only you can do. Go support a cause and a work for people who don't look like you, don't understand you, and who may not appreciate you. Do it because the Holy Spirit said so. Thank you. Okay. I saw my light turn yellow, so I wasn't. Okay. Go ahead. You done messed up my beautiful clothes and everything, man. Go ahead.
Health disparities are a huge issue in all of medicine, and mental health is no exception. And I was really eager to hear what you had to say about cultural issues in terms of access to care. And so, would you mind commenting?
Sure. As a matter of fact, I just did a presentation earlier last week in regards to some of the cultural concerns. Cultural concerns, it was really interesting trying to tell you this. In regards to cultural concerns, cultural sensitivity, there's a piece in the PowerPoint about training for that. I got a couple of things in the PowerPoint in regards to it, so please get the PowerPoint. But we have to be in tune with the cultural context that our clients and the people are coming from if we're going to serve them. Not only do we have to be in tune with them, we have to begin to create avenues. And SAMHSA, I know, funds a whole lot of resources, provides a whole lot of resources for creating more diversity within the helping professional fields. Open doors for people so that when clients come in, they can see somebody that looks like them. And they may not have the same cultural beliefs as you, but learn about other people's cultural beliefs. I did a presentation last week, as I mentioned, and it was about helping people of color at predominantly white institutions in regards to counseling. And I gave out a little questionnaire in regards to how many of you have people of color who have come to your house for dinner, who are not professional colleagues. In other words, some of your friends. And I said, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I had everybody stand up. And by the time I got to 4, the only people standing up were people of color. And there was one white gentleman who actually works at an HBCU. And that was it. And then I said, okay, well, how many of you work with people of color every day as clients? And out of 70 plus people. And almost everybody stood up. And I'm like, you're working with a population that you don't know anything about. You don't know anything about their cultural history. And the only segment you actually engage with is the segment that is in psychological turmoil. So how does that sway your perception of that group of people if you only work with the group that is hurting, in pain, and maybe displaying abnormal behavior? So, we have to understand that the cultural context is everything. Even when we're doing diagnosis, because I could really get into this, I wrote a piece about this a couple of years ago, the misdiagnosis of people of color. Why? Because people don't understand the context. So they interpret the behaviors and even the quantitative data that they get incorrectly because they don't understand the context. They think somebody's resistant when they're not resistant. Oh, is that me now for real? Okay. See, I knew this was going to happen. Thank y'all so much for letting me come.